to really stand up and deliver something new to the world that no one's ever heard of before, that's completely come through as new information, does take a degree of confidence, because it's true, you do sometimes get from people, well, why did this information come through you? Like, it's just been really interesting for us to sit with that. Why is it that this has come through us? You know, we don't feel particularly special or important. It's more just, it happened to come through us because of the unique combination of our backgrounds and our skills and the way our two minds work. I mean, it's pretty funny being a fly on the wall in our house, because we have these ranging discussions that sweep across history and politics and people and life and spirituality and personal growth, and it's a very intense place to be. And we come from such opposite places. I mean, Alan's so incredibly learned in history and science and politics, and he's kind of one of these people, I call him the walking encyclopedia. He just knows everything, every kind of fact, every kind of science. And I'm completely the opposite. I know stories and people, and I'm intuitive, and I get sparks of inspiration. And so there's these two completely opposite minds and learning styles and thinking styles coming together. And so I think that's why the information had to come through us, because obviously you have to be open to spirit for information to come through. And there are lots of people open to spirit, and we're also open to spirit. But then that information has to get taken by the human mind. Once it comes in, it has to get sorted and organized and interrogated and questioned. And because of the way our brains work that are so different from each other, when the information will come through, usually come through in a conversation we would have. Maybe it will come out of my mouth or out of Alan's mouth. And then we go, wow, that feels like it's true. Or sometimes we go, is that really accurate? And then we'd interrogate it, we'd question it, you know. I've had a background as a lawyer, did a master's in law from Oxford, so I'm very much interrogating things. Is that true? What are the implications of that? Have you really thought that through? Is that really accurate if we apply that across the board? And Alan's very profound. He sits with things and sits with things and sits with things. So I'd be kind of like firing questions at him, firing questions at him, firing questions at him. And then Alan would go away and sit and contemplate. You know, maybe come back a week later.
Well, I kind of come in with two worlds, as I've been shown. I tend to be half scientist, half mystic. So there's the side of me that's also interrogating and coming at it from a very critical eye and looking at where's the evidence of this and how can we demonstrate this, as well as then the mystical side that is connected and open and looking to receive information. And I think the real reason why this became available to us is because it's all in the question. Everything, and especially with divination, as anyone that's studied the divination sciences understands, it's in the question you ask, because in infinite consciousness, everything's available to you. So everybody's asking different questions. And the particular questions that we were asking were to resolve this understanding. We were looking at the pattern of humanity to just understand where people were relative to each other and why, and where things were moving to for our research, for our work that we were looking to prepare, and looking at just, well, what's the demographics of the world, and why is it the way it is? So it was really, I feel, through the question that we asked that is unique. By asking that question and then being rigorous in the research to answer that question, this model evolved and presented itself through that process. And then, of course, we refined it, as Tahnee indicated, and found where the holes were and found out why things weren't quite on pattern and asked more questions. So it was through that question process that this clarity came available, because they say, ask and you shall receive, and it's so true. But the key is the question. What question are you asking? And the key to the question, it has to be very specific and precise. It can't be general or broad. You have to be looking very specifically, why exactly is this pattern here? And why exactly is that pattern there? And as you go through that process of rigorous, specific inquiry, and it's really inquiry, going within and questioning the infinite consciousness that's available to us, you start to then have that available to you.
And I think also both of us would call ourselves recovering perfectionists, because
Still recovering.
History is to be extreme perfectionists. And how that's playing out now is we've let go of having a perfect house and perfect this and perfect that. And now it's just, we are clear that we are not putting this work out into the world until it stands up from every direction. We have thrown everything at this, like two brains that are skeptical and cynical and finding holes in things, and we found holes in it, and what's under it, what's under it, what's under it, because we're perfectionists, and we're both like to be devil's advocates, which is why the conversations can be quite entertaining here, because we usually take the opposite side from each other, and, you know, it could go for hours. But out of that comes a kind of like it's being forged in a fire of inquiry. And